everybody in the chat in the tournament seems to be having a good time. Alright, I see it. So, welcome to our May fan fight. This is Coach Robert, and I will be commentating everyone's games. Right now we have 8 players. I'm hoping to get one more player because I just want to do commentary on other people's games, and if I play and commentate at the same time, it'll be a little bit not so good. Okay. Oh, I left everything in German. Let me change it for you guys, in case that matters. Okay. English. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna duck out so that everybody can play someone. All right, we have 8 now, so that's good. We have 5 rounds of 10+0, so it's rapid chess. And I'm looking forward to seeing everyone's games. Excuse me. Just players. In 2 minutes, the games will begin. So, anybody in the chat? Hello, Vedant. Welcome. How's everyone doing today? I'm wondering if everyone's looking forward to a Chinese rocket re-entering the atmosphere. We can start a poll in the chat. Who thinks it's on purpose? No, just kidding. It would be very odd to like purposely let loose a random rocket. Alright. Welcome, Gear Master. The games are starting soon. I am glad that people actually woke up to come play. Sometimes people just like stay in bed and they show up like hours later and go like, oh, there was a tournament. Darn. They just missed it. It's always better when people show up to play. Okay, just a minute and a half now. We have a pretty strong showing this time. I mean, it's mostly the same players. We have a lot of regulars, which I'm thankful for. But everybody's been improving in various ways. So my Anand's rating's over 2,000 now. I think that was not true last time. So, let's see. So Eater Master says my audio is weird. Is my voice weird, or is my audio weird? Like, I'm not sure why that is, and not everybody has it, so no worries. Nothing I can do about it now, whatever the case may be. Yeah, it might be because there's a little bit of latency. Just because, like, I'm far away, you're far away, the internet's big, the speed of light's a thing, you know, there's a delay. Okay, so starting very soon. Best of luck to the players. Anand reports that his sleep schedule is not doing well, and I can totally relate to that. Finals just ended for many of us, so congrats on surviving finals. Or if you didn't, rest in peace. Okay, this one is Saket versus Anand. Pardon me, I feel a little bit allergic today. Okay, so Scandinavian in this game, interesting choice. Scandinavian has always been an interesting choice. Interesting meaning like potentially bad, but not so bad that you shouldn't do it. So that's kind of fun and interesting. Let's see, Vedant against Bladelock. Bladelock, since Bladelock's kind of new, I don't remember his first name. He has a bunch of different usernames, but he's in another time zone. So I'm hoping that he will pop up. I'm gonna add him in Discord if I can remember his handle. Let's see. Let's see if we can get him there. I don't. Let's see. Sorry for this delay. I just want to get our players online. Oh. Alright, that is it. Send them a message. Hopefully we can get clicking back on. Okay, let's see another game. So that's e4 in that game. Could be exciting if someone shows up. Arham, I know Arham. I haven't seen him in a long time. I was hoping he'd show up. I don't know his Discord handle, and it looks like he's late as well. That's too bad. But in the second round, people who don't show up, they get kicked to the curb. Okay, so person, someone I don't know who probably changed their name recently. I'm not sure. Person, interesting. So playing a real opening, whoever person is, this is interesting stuff. H6 is not a choice by Swagtime. He might be trolling, since Swagtime is that sort of human from time to time. You never know. Okay, so H6 was prophylaxis against bishop g5 and knight g5. He doesn't want a castle yet, but he also doesn't want to allow tactical shots against f7 or a pin to the knight. So that was interesting, and now we've reached a pretty typical position. The only concession with this move order, I guess, for black is that they might have wanted to play d5 in one move at some point, but that's no longer possible. So, nothing wrong with that. It's just a different kind of setup. But d5 is a typical idea. Alright, let's see how this game's going. I need to make sure everybody can see properly. Okay, looking good. So our Scandinavian is shaped up to be something of a Caro-Kann, which is not surprising because, you get the same pawn structure. It's a little early for knight e4 here. That's fine. I thought maybe queen f5 was a little better to take back with the queen, but this could also be prep that I just don't know. An interesting thing about this is the bishop can come out somewhere here. So black kind of got an extra move. So they played bishop d6. Bishop d3 is an odd decision. I don't know how I feel about that. It could be more prep, but I highly doubt it. See, the bishop on the f1 was kind of busy, right? Seems tricky to move it like that. We'll come back to this position. Let's see somebody else. Alright, so we have 2 inactive games. That's all. Those guys will probably play the next round. Alright, so let's see how Swagtime's doing. Got a real opening position here. Person, though they be 1500 provisional, probably never played a game in this time control, or in any time control, now that I'm hovering over their name. They are busting out the moves. So this could still be an exciting game. A little bit of a protracted fight for the center. Like white hasn't tried to play d4, black hasn't tried to play d5. Lots of maneuvering and developing of the pieces. We could see a kingside attack from either side at some point in this game. Alright, knight g5 says Swagtime's going for it. He says Freddy's weak. I'm going to bully Freddy. Rook e2 makes a lot of sense. Just protects that spot. I wonder if we're going to keep seeing fast play from these players. Maybe they can linger here for a moment. Alright, I think it's a position where Gabe might have to think. We'll see. Gabe needs time. Okay, so it looks like in this game, black did go for it. The g-pawn was free. Here I thought we might see queen e2 check, followed by bishop e4. I thought that was the finesse that they were going for, a little bit of development. But instead he trades queens down a pawn, which seems rather dubious to me. And this is where we find ourselves. Knight on h4 looks kind of silly, and white's down a pawn. So I would favor black here, but black also needs to finish development and do something. I'm gonna sneeze. There's not. Nope, no sneeze. Okay, they played g6. Trapping the knight a little bit, maybe. Come on, play black. Can't go around just not showing up for the game like that. Vidant's probably checking the other games. dedicated as he is to Pino chess. Kushagra B is still sitting, waiting for Arham. That's too bad. I wish I knew Arham's handle, so I could, like, just ping him and get him to show up. It's been a long time. Some of my old students sometimes swing in for the tournaments, and sometimes they swing in and oversleep, it looks like. So Black had the chutzpah to get the d5 break-in, possibly as a gambit. They moved the knight multiple times in order to get this d5 break-in. And now the d3 pawn is weak, potentially. But they've lost the e-pawn. Seemingly for free. But there's an opening where this is a typical idea. I won't explain the plans in general because the players are still playing. But in the, what's it called? See, this is what happens when I don't play chess that much. In the martial attack, martial gambit. Alright, martial, Spanish martial, alright? There's this thing where they sack the whole e-pawn. And it's like equal. I think the state of theory there is it's equal. Although, personally, I'd rather take the black side of martial gambit. I'm sorry, the white side. It's just a little solid. Not saying this is the same, but it's reminiscent. You know, sometimes we sack the e-pawn just to start something. Alright. The players are fast and furious in this game. Black is fast, white is furious. Okay, so what happened here? So we played f3 and then cast the h-pawn to the wind. Freddy didn't really need support here, but Socket's doing the thing. I guess he just wants to get out of the pin. I don't know. Oh, this is daring. So he's up some pawns and then he just takes on f5. Oh wait, he's down some pawns, right. So he's down some pawns and now he's sacking a whole piece. No, this is just me being like barely awake. This is a pin, okay? Everyone can remember this basic thing. You cannot take the bishop. So it's not a sacrifice unless you can make the bishop, make the knight, make the rook go somewhere. Yeah. It's been quite a time recently. So you're saying knight, bishop, rook, sack a piece, not even a sacrifice. Yeah. I don't know why you guys want to listen to my commentary if I'm going to talk like this. Just kidding. If it's funny, it's good. Yeah, maybe that's a good suggestion for that. I should make monthly Fanfight Champion into Discord. That's right. Also, anyone who's watching who's not a participant, hasn't participated before, you can join this live chess group. It's the Coach Robert Fan Club. In the tournament page, can you guys see it? No. I am streaming it up, so I would post a link, but I don't know how. But anyway, if you go to this tournament, or if you go to like the homepage for my YouTube channel, you'll find a link for everything, and you can join this tournament. I mean, the next edition of this tournament. Just by following the stream, joining the club, and looking for new events. I will probably lock in the excuse me. I'll probably lock in the next date, like today. At least I'll put a tentative date out. Okay, so person is escaping with their free pawn, it looks like. But Swag Time might have the kind of attacking position that he likes. That's an interesting choice. I'm not sure it's what I would have done, but you know, he's definitely getting the queen active. He's going for the kill. The thing is, this move knight f3 is pretty good. There was also knight e4. It's not clear to me which one's better. Yeah, I'm a mess today, guys. But I didn't want to let everyone down and not show it. Queen g6 is maintaining the attack on the g pawn, so this move makes a lot of sense. But I think both sides have their pluses here. Let's see what white comes up with in a couple minutes. Okay, next game. Maybe who have we not checked on? I think one of the games already finished. Well, Kush and Vedant, they won by forfeit. So Bladelock and Arham are paused, they will not play. Everybody else will continue. We always have some people like that, even in real tournaments. People like sometimes just don't show up. Thanks for adding to the Coach Robert fan page, Vedant. Also, Vedant made the fan page, so big shout out to him. That's something I could never bring myself to do myself, and it's turned out to be very useful, so we can host these tournaments. So definitely appreciated all the participation from our group. And anybody who wants to get better at chess can join our group, and we all study together. We are probably going to do an endgame study group starting this week if I can just get my stuff together. I've already started collecting materials. I just need to make the PDF and release to everyone. So if you guys are interested, join our groups, like follow the YouTube stream and join the Light Chess group and ask for a link to the Discord. Someone will definitely share it with you. So we're coming down to the wire here. White has lost some material, but their pieces look decent. You know, they're pretty active. Attacking things could happen. You never know. It's kind of bold and brash to just start giving pawns to activate your pieces. Now, black's pieces are active as well, but I think that there are some just tactical finesses that they'll have to navigate. I have an expectation of what white will play. I think we'll just linger here and see what they do. I have an idea about what Socrates is up to, what he's been playing. Maybe I should open the games in tabs. Level Up Chess, thank you for your comment. How to join. So this tournament is already locked in. You can join the next one or any of our study groups by joining the Discord. I'm going to be awkward for a second and switch to my YouTube thing, but I'm going to share a Discord link with you. Let me just create the link. Discord is our hanging out server thing that we like to use. So everybody does everything through Discord. Okay, let me be really quick. I know this looks ugly, I'm sorry. Alright, there's your link. Alright, if you have trouble posting the links for things in the chat, that's probably my bad. I will, just let me know. Oh, if the tournament's not locked, yeah, you can definitely join in. Sorry, I'm just not sure how it works. Okay, knight f5 is what I thought white would do. Because see, I remember how pins work now that I've been awake for like 2 hours. This pawn, yeah, can't take it. You want to lose the king? No. So the knight can safely go there. And it's snug as a bug in a rug. And they have to move the king somewhere because there's no other options. And they have to choose wisely. Do we go here? Do we go here? Do we go here? Do we go here and get taken by the knight? I don't know. Do we take our own pawn? No, probably not. Anyway, let's see the next game. We're down to 2 games. Alright, he played king h2 and oh no, this is a different game. It looks like person has succumbed to Swag Time's delicious kingside attack. I don't know how this happened though. Some matter of swindling, no doubt. Alright, so they are trying to do something crazy. They took on h6, so that's just a free piece, right? Okay, so this was entirely person's fault here. Not that I'm trying to blame them for anything, but, you know, they sacrificed the bishop in a very unwise way, and that's how Swag Time got in. So, it's like that old song, Here She Comes. I think probably knight g4 is not the best. I would have played queen h3, but to each their own, you know. Position looks nice. If anyone can share the link, maybe it's not possible to share the link. Here, let me do that ugly thing again. Alright. So I shared a link, so if you want to join, click that join button. I think it went through. I think what I posted's okay. Yeah. That's a link for the Swiss. Sorry about my voice, guys. You just have to join the group in order to get it rolling. And we're on Lichess, so have to have a Lichess account. You can't play tournaments anonymously, which makes a lot of sense. Okay. That's not the direction I expected things to go here. With just like 3 minutes altogether for the players, this position is still very interesting. Right? Black has 2 kingside pawns, but advancing them is problematic because of white's good dark square control. C4 makes a lot of sense to me. Putting the rook on the south rank is just generally advisable. Oof. It's a check. Great. That's a pass pawn. Trying to run down here and do something nasty. We love using our pieces. Probably this pawn will barely survive, if I just had to guess. I think there's a very good move here. For black. Basically, we want this pawn. Maybe that one's good. I was thinking knight e2 check, but that opportunity has sailed away. Oh, white did not. Okay. Okay. Now the d6 pawn is corralled. So probably we're gonna see a blowout here. Oh, and it's the last game, so let's check it. Let's keep watching. Alright, there goes Dedi, the d-pawn. All done for Dedi. Rest in peace. That's an interesting choice. I don't know why. Yep, white should probably just be pre-moving like everything at this point to try to hang in. It's a desperate situation. You know, he's got very little in the way of seconds, and it's hard. Even without the rook at this point, black is winning. Oh. It's terrible. But you know what, we can go for stalemate, so it could actually be to his benefit to have lost that. You know, both players a little low. Sometimes when your opponent starts moving fast, you start moving fast too. But as long as black keeps checking, like there's no way he can get stalemate. But you know, checkmate wins the game. We have to do that. I can hear Anand's gears turning. Yep. Nice meeting too. Okay. So let's go back and see. So next round begins in 1 minute, so well done everyone. Only 2 players did not show up, which was nice. I think... Yeah, we have all the same players as before. No new joiners. But at this stage, people who are watching can still join, so it's up to you. I didn't know that, but Vedant said so, and I believe it. Wow, it looks like so bright. Normally my camera's really dark. Yeah, who is person? I seem to remember person, like there's someone that we know, but I don't remember who it is. I think person was in one of my summer camps. I just can't connect it. Also, the summer camps this past year, when I last was chess coaching, they were online. So it's a little harder to remember who said. Alright, swag time's off to the races with E4. Best by test according to someone famous whose name starts with an R. Okay. Vedant pre-moved that. He was so ready for this moment. Okay. I think knight c3 is maybe not the most accurate move order, but this is fine. I know Vedant really likes this kind of position. So let's see if he can pull out something fun. Yeah, he didn't miss it. Knight e4 is a tactical move, so I think Swagtime's already in trouble here. Things are going fast, so I'll just watch this for a moment and then we'll go to the next game. He's made a good choice in terms of how he's getting compensation for his lost pawn. Kind of like in the last game. Like, I'm pretty sure Swagtime just sacked a pawn and then played for compensation. You need to have good technique to beat a player who proceeds in this fashion. Usually, unless they slip. And it's easy to slip when you accept the worst position. Okay, so probably he's going to take a little while to decide what to do here. So let's see the other games. These guys are already off to the races as well. I guess it's not unexpected since it's 10-minute. Similar opening here, except we have bishop c4. d5? Okay. I thought pawn takes d5 would be done. Because now black's development is like somewhat good. They're going to IQP, but I don't think it's the end of the world. Bishop e7 is a good move. Basically, black finished their development without any issues, if you have to ask them. I think they're probably going to castle next move, and there's little argument that can be put up against that. So I really like Kush's position. Anand has his point too, but I think he put too much work in to make the IQP. That's this one, isolated queen pawn. It's a weakness in the endgame, but as you can see, it's creating some problems right now. And, right now is all we have in life. Okay, let's see the next position. I want to give fair attention to this one, although I see some actions going on in the other games too. Okay, so 4 knights with d4, so this is some kind of scotch. I think bishop b4 is the main line. Yeah, this is all normal. Knight takes e4. I feel like there's some issue with knight takes e4, but I don't remember what it is. Maybe I don't remember my theory. Okay, and there's definitely nothing good about bishop g5. I probably would have played queen takes g5 for the lulz. Oof. And person lost their queen. That's a shame. Yeah, this game's already basically over. I mean, they could make a comeback, they could get a stalemate, but this is a very rough start compared to the other games. So Socket has fully capitalized. Excuse me. Okay. Coming back to Swagtime versus Vedant. Oh, Vedant blundered? Let me see. Where's the blunder? I don't see a blunder yet. Maybe here. Vedant claimed a blunder. Oh yeah, thank you. My dab sneeze. Okay. At first glance, I'm not seeing this blunder. I mean, you could take on c6 and then take the pawn on e5, but I'm not sure that's even a blunder. Maybe. Yeah, that would be counterplay. Probably he should just take on c6, like this. And then this. So removing the defender. Yeah, that's probably what Vedant was looking at. Move 14, knight takes knight. Yeah, that's what we were just discussing, that's right. I keep everything in the compact Zen mode, so I don't see the move numbers, but that seems like the same move. Okay, now c3 is pretty tender, but white has active pieces, so it's not over yet. Besides, in 10 minutes, anything can happen. You can have 1,000-point upsets in these fast time controls. Alright, so Anand played queen e3, so So we have, he opted for the exchange of pieces. And queen d3, I guess. I don't know, I kind of thought he would play like bishop f4 or something. But he probably doesn't want to see him with like d3, so that's probably why he played this. Because the bishop on f6 is looking at burying the b pawn. I don't think that's even necessarily bad. Like, even if he sacrifice it, he can play like rook b1, rook takes b7, that might be good. So, it could have still been interesting, but if you want to keep things simple, you don't let the tactics happen. Okay, so that's a checker-roni. I think this is a little bit better for black, though. I usually like when people initiate the exchange of rooks on their own, unless there's a tactical problem with it, like losing a piece. Because you get to do something like this, you know? Like, queen got a free move, so we got to put the rook on a good square. I feel like that's pretty nice. So this is a pretty tense position. And I would say that with the isolated queen pawn, like black has at least full compensation for the long-term weakness. There's some typical strategies for both sides here. We'll probably see the players trying to use some of them. Right now black is just activating all the pieces, which is totally normal and good. Let's see if Swag Time managed to get anything for his bad position. That's a double attack. It's pretty, yeah, he resigned. Swag Time knows. Yeah, this was hard. He had one shot to get back in the game, and also the opening, he had to play the opening better. In fast time controls, it can be hard to remember your opening stuff, but here bishop d3 is better to avoid the bishop d4 hitting the knight on c3. So this is what he could have done to avoid this opening situation that we have here. And at this point, instead of queen d2, which runs into knight e4 because of Pinsville, you could play f3 and support the pawn. Of course, I think black is doing fine after d5 here, because we like to get the d5 break in, so f3 is a little slow. So black is fine overall, but you know, he had to play something like this to survive. Okay, so we have 2 games. Trolling in progress, warning. If we get a stalemate here, I am going to be, like, not pleased with Socket. Socket, how could you? Was it worth it for all that trolling? He got plus 214 points, you got minus 3, it's a stalemate when you have 3 knights in a rook. It's ridiculous. Kids these days. Okay, let's see Kush and Anand. This is the last game. So we're still fighting it out in this, like, almost classical looking position. There's a lot going on. Yeah, totally on you. That's karma. Checkmate was your dharma, but stalemate was your karma. Okay, here's an interesting decision from black. I'm not sure if it's good. He's playing knight e7, which opens up the queens. And it's a trade. I think trading queens when you have the isolated queen pawn position is very double-edged. And we're probably going to see that happening right now. I mean, it might be okay, but we don't know. I wonder why Kush is not taking back. Obviously. There's something else to think about here. Well, this is the only game left. Okay. So Anand has a little bit less time, but I think trading queens is progress for the side that has fewer weaknesses. Even so, without a second weakness in the position, I'm not sure that that black is even worse. They might be fine. Well, let's see. I don't want to give too much away. He was AFK. Okay. In the middle of the tournament, just walk around your house. Got it. That's how we do things here, I suppose. King E2. Interesting move. I guess he wants to play like king d3 or something. Okay, so he ended up getting it in, but I think that probably if black wanted to get rid of their weakness, they could have played d3 check right here. d3, maybe pawn takes d3, I don't know, and then bishop takes b2. So that would have been pretty good, but it's not meant to be. Both sides are bringing their king to the middle in a situation that I find highly tenuous. This is a dangerous position to do such a thing. I mean, here we're already getting this fork, so he has to exchange. It's alright, so black offered a draw, white declined a draw. Interesting. Kush always offers a draw. He has like no spine. I don't mean to be mean, he's like one of our esteemed viewers, but come on, you gotta like not offer a draw so much. This position has a lot of life. So f3 is opening the bishop and also overprotecting these light squares. But it's also a move that you can never take back, so it's hard to see exactly what the consequences will be for this move. It also weakens e3. Those are all just general considerations, though. Pardon me. Another interesting aspect of this position is that it's a bishop versus knight endgame. So usually in the endgame, the bishop with its long range powers, like being able to go all over the board, like vroom vroom, is very useful compared to the knight, who has to just kind of like stare at eight squares at a time. So this check is disturbing white's king. That's why he's blushing. Giant has a good point in the chat. If he must offer a draw, do it half a second before landing checkmate. Absolutely. You have to do it in the middle of a hyperbolic game. Like set up a macro where you like press space and it offers a draw. You just do it over and over again. For the lulz, of course. It is human nature to not want to admit wrongdoing. I think that it would have been interesting to consider taking this knight, but if you did, then you would make a concession in that you don't leave this weak pawn on d4 anymore. But by not taking the knight, now we see that the knight is getting very active, right? It's attacking b2, a3, strong knight. So it's hard sometimes to admit that the position is changing and you have to adapt. You want to just keep things the way they are. I think that's part of why we're seeing these kinds of moves in this position. Knight e3 is an outpost, but I'm not sure it's the best move in this position. I think that probably black should have gone for something different. I don't want to say what it is exactly, but it's still maybe possible. And of course the players are allowed to watch the stream, so just want to have some delicateness. Is that a word? But what is UB? In the chat, you're mentioning it. King d2 looks like a desperate move to me. It's a little suspicious. I wonder if there's some deep purpose behind it. With 2 minutes on the clock, it's hard to come up with a deep purpose for anything. Sometimes I wonder if even life has a deep purpose. Here, I was wondering if he just really wants to trade rooks that badly. Because if black wants it, they can do it. You know, next move, third check, they have to save their king. Rook trade's entirely possible if black just chooses to do it. So, like, why might white want that? Oh, ultra bullet. Okay, thank you. I'm very academically challenged. I just can't do acronyms. They're not my friend. Okay, so here, he's lost a pawn, but he traded rooks. So, is it worth it? It's hard for me to see it. Oof, that move does not look that good. I thought he would try to activate his bishop. I thought that was what he was going for. Like maybe, I thought he would go for like bishop d6 or bishop b8, something like that. Not king d2, because like, he doesn't move that king. So all the pawns are just getting massacred here. Anand's in love with his king all of a sudden. He can't touch any other piece. So it turns out that in addition to being Mother's Day, it's King Appreciation Day. We are moving the king many, many times in this game just to show that we care. So get outside, get that king some exercise. I wonder if black is at any point going to show their king that they really care. You know, they're moving the knight. It's like Knight Appreciation Day for black. I think this is where white is not going to move the king, but they might. You never know. They're very appreciative. Let's see. Honestly, thought that was going to happen. Because the knight's a jumpy boy. He jumps around. Jumper gotta jump. Okay, so now the king appreciation is commencing. I would be concerned here. I thought that knight e1 was more powerful, attacking both pawns at once. So now white's still in the game. I think it was much harder after knight e1. Now you can see some of the downside of the short range jumpy boy. He cannot handle the attack over here on the queen side. I don't think white had to give these pawns that easily, but it might prove drawable at this point. We'll see. I don't know. By drawable, I mean like with blunders, because this is a very hard position to play. Probably white had to hold on to these pawns a little bit more fiercely. Yeah, that's it. So, resignation. Makes sense. If you don't have the bishop, you can't fight against these three pawns, except for like some ridiculous stalemate, which is... You have to be a real knucklehead to stalemate with three pawns. But, you know, Socket managed with a rook and three knights, so it might have been worth it to play on. Let's see. I've seen some nice games from players today. It's nice. So we're still around 2 of 5. We have 3 more. With 6 players, I think we might start seeing people getting full point buys. I'm not sure. I don't remember how the cross tables work. It's been a while. From what I've heard, Vedant is working on creating a trailer for our channel, which I think is really nice, because I've thought about doing a trailer to just tell people what we're about, but I always feel very pretentious trying to like put something together. And I also don't want to just make a video where I'm like super casual, like, yeah, what's up guys, this is my channel, we do chess, click and subscribe. You know, like, I just want to do something good. So I'm looking forward to seeing it from Vidant. Yep. It's a family affair here on board one. Kush and Vidant are brothers, and they have to face off. It's a fight to the death. I mean, to the best brother. I saw somebody the other day with a shirt that said the most okayest brother or something. I thought that was like appropriate. We're getting some kind of weird like King's Indian looking position now where black is taking a lot of space. Unusual. Since these guys know each other very well, are we going to see some trolling? We just might. These guys are probably in the same room right now. No, just kidding. I don't think that's true. Alright, let's spy on someone else's game. Swag times gonna swag, as they say. So we have this ridiculous Albin counter gambit. I think this is all theory. Yeah, A3 is... I made a video about this. It was called something like Albin counter gambit refuted variation. I showed that there's a good time to play A3, pretty much. So I don't think this is the time to do it. But at the same time, Albin counter gambit is very dubious. So even if there is a better circumstance, it doesn't mean that this is a bad time to play A3. The idea is to stop bishop b4. That's a very active move for black, and black needs to play actively because they're down a pawn, right? White has 2b pawns. Okay, so did we get a buy for Anand? Hold on, let me see this. Oh, it's just a fast game. So person got rickety wrecked, it looks like. Knight e2 is not the best move here. The best move here is c3. Because after any bishop move, don't care, we can play d4. And this is a big problem. I guess they could castle, but then we take this, and this position is technically winning for white. My quarrel with knight e2 is this allows castling with no issues, pretty much. Although white is also better here, so I'm kind of just complaining. But knight h6 and then knight g is a really weird decision. You know, we can't really rely on someone to make this kind of mistake, getting into a scholar's mate. The most famous. Even in the Queen's Gambit TV show, like the first game she plays, she gets scholar's mated, which is totally accurate. So that happens for a lot of people. We should all know that one. We shouldn't let it happen. So person does a valiant effort, but not very good. I bet person was thrilled for their stalemate though. Very funny. Okay, so Honest Bishop's here in the YouTube chat. Welcome. I think I haven't seen your messages before today. Okay, so coming back to Vidant and Kush. If I can click, I say click, there we go. Sorry, getting frustrated. So we missed a couple moves and it looks very King's Indian-y. White castled, trying to undermine the center. Black can't play e5, so I think this decision makes some sense. Trying to say that maybe d3 is a weak pawn. Avoiding check makes sense. Here, if white wanted to, they can maybe take, not like that, nice, don't do that. Take, and then like, do this. And just say, my weakness is covered up, near, you can't bother me. So that was a possibility. But instead we see the perpetuation of this weakness, and so white has to play a little passively to defend. b4 is a very aggressive move. Knight takes e4 looks crazy to me. Am I just like tactically blind? Legally blind? Yeah, because they can take twice on e4. Okay, so knight e4 is good because after bishop takes e4, if we take back, then the queen is hanging. So can't do that. knight takes e4 is a good move. So b4 was too crazy. Should not let that happen. Probably better move is king h2, something like that. Okay, so this is an interesting moment. Black's pieces are very active, but they're not up material. Like, they want a pawn, but then they just gave the pawn right back. Because, you know, b takes c. If they took at this point, then they'd lose the queen, so they couldn't really take back. So, all this is happening. We're like cruising for an endgame where material is equal. There's a lot of fight in it, lots of heavy pieces. You could see a checkmating attack in the middle of the game. I see people in the chat are getting confused about usernames. That's an easy problem. We have like 3 handles each, you know? I try to keep mine consistent, but even my username on Lichess was a joke with Coach Luis, if you guys remember. I just said like, oh, let's make it something stupid like Master Maters, and then I got stuck with it. So it's not Coach Robert for me, so I have at least 2 handles, but everybody seems to have like 3, and some people keep changing them. This is such a weird thing. People like change their name every week. It's too bad I don't see people in real life because of like pandemic and, you know, being on the internet. Otherwise I could just like remember people's faces and stuff more easily and not mess it up. Anybody who's like relaxing right now, do you guys have any travel plans coming up? I know that a lot of people are vaccinated, so travel makes a little bit more sense. Any cool stuff coming up? I know some people were asking about World Open. I'm not playing World Open. It just seems crazy to me, given that like you can get sick at World Open even without a pandemic. You know, it's just not very good playing conditions. But there's other tournaments that might be good, like maybe in another country, or if you're in the U.S., you can play in Virginia. I think Virginia's pretty good. I think they're sanitizing things. I think Charlotte Chess Center might be doing good stuff. I saw an email from them. They invited me to play an event. I declined by not answering their email. Is this an oof moment? It could be. Let's see. Sorry. Vedant is thinking long and hard. How do I protect all the pieces? How do I not lose? That's always an excellent question, isn't it? How to not lose. Not losing is almost winning. In some games, it is winning. Anna's never played over the board. Yeah, I think it'll be great to play over the board again. And if you've never played, I think we might even have like, okay, this is me being super optimistic, which will probably never happen ever again. Okay, so savor this moment. I think that we might even have like a better atmosphere than normal after the pandemic for a couple reasons. Number one, people want to play after a long time. So we don't have people like trudging off to the chess farm and like, oh, I don't play, you know. So people will probably be like kind of high spirits, and we might have a lot of new people because of the Queen's Gambit TV show. So, and I expect that the people who will be interested in the Queen's Gambit show will probably be like pleasant people to interact with, which I think is not necessarily true for most people who've been playing chess since before the show. So I think it would be really cool. Vedant resigned. I think that's weird. Is there a reason? So I didn't analyze this very carefully, but Queen D1. Is that like not kosher? Well, let's just check this real quick. Right, to the end. Here I think Queen D1 is just like not the end of the world, is it? This is Bishop A6. strong move, that's true. I was wondering if they would protect, but I was thinking about something different like this. This, I think it's okay. But bishop a6 is very strong, so I get it. Okay, set game for Vedant. That's too bad. Oop, I didn't mean to go to the home page. Let's go to the tournament. Okay, so we still have Swag Time hanging on against Socket. Did I even check this game? No, I didn't. Right. Okay, so this game sees Swag Time trying to fink out of the bishop since bishop e4 is not happening. He doesn't want to trade pieces, or he wants to trade pieces more on his own terms. Developing instead of snagging the c pawn. I think probably he should have played bishop takes c4. To be honest. Okay, so he got it anyway. Not a big deal. Messed up pawn structure. Bad for the endgame, but you know what? We were never playing for the endgame if we're playing this opening. Bishop d5 is avoiding exchanges, but there's some compensation to be had with bishop takes f1. This would be kind of interesting as well. Bishop d5 also looks okay, so maybe I shouldn't criticize. So bishop f4 looks kind of weird to me. I thought at least bishop f6 made sense. Okay, so here we are. So we can see what they're up to. Vedant is speechless. And Shai's visiting family. That's great. I too will see my family for once. For many years I was just playing chess and not seeing my family. And that's not true anymore, so I will see them. And it will be great. If you have a mother, you should say Happy Mother's Day. Or don't. Depends on your relationship. But, you know, that's what it is. It's Mother's Day. So, love the one you with. What are we going to do here? So white has finally castled, unlike move 15, or whatever this is. And the ball is in Swag Time's court. Our whole squad's pretty strong, right? The people who regularly play our tournaments are pretty solid in general. It's nice. And stronger by the minute, honestly. And everybody's going to be really good at endgames after we do our training session this summer. I have to start making the sheets and start passing them out like hotcakes. Or money off the stack. Yeah, I hope that will go well. I don't really have much time to play chess myself, which is a shame, but it is what it is. Trying not to beat myself up over not playing. Knight d4 looks like a strong move. I think there's plenty of reasons to go for something like this. It's just attacking a lot of good squares. Vedant, if you're not happy that you lost your brother, you should go beat him up in real life. Of course I'm kidding, but you know, it's an option. That's what I always do. I don't like my result at a chess tournament. I beat up the arbiter. Alright, kidding again. Some arbiters, maybe I would. But not usually. The CCA arbiters especially. Maybe we should also make it Arbiter Appreciation Day. It's just like all kinds of appreciation, alright? We appreciate you arbiters. I know I just talked about maybe punching an arbiter, but I'm kidding. I like you. We like that tournaments happen. We need arbiters to make it happen, right? Inter-fan club battle. Does that mean like fan club against fan club? I mean, I'm not encouraged by people sleeping in and missing their games, so I would hate to challenge someone else's club and waste their time. But maybe if I could get over that, we could challenge someone. What we have here is like an intra-fan club, I guess, because it's completely within one club. So Honest Bishop is asking on YouTube. If you have a fan club in mind, maybe I could reach out to their leader. I'll say take me to your leader and see if we can get something going. Hold on, do we have another game right now? I forget. Time's very low for Socket. Swag Time's playing like the bathroom gambler or something. You'll just like try to run them out of their ability to sit at the computer. Bishop on d5 looks pretty swaggy. It's staring at all kinds of great places. It's posted up looking like a pawn in the best way possible. Protecting c6. But white still has more material and more space and so on. Yeah, message me in the Discord if you know what fan club we should go against. It shouldn't be the Don's fan club though, because then we'll have a conflict of interest. Doubling on the B file. Interesting choice. The B pawn doesn't strike me as especially tender, but I could also see it becoming vulnerable later on, so. Not a crazy idea. Maybe Swag Time's gotten up. Yeah. Pawn the replay, take back on d5. Okay, so Swag Time is completely neglecting to protect the d-pawn. Just doesn't care. I really thought he would just take the c-pawn instead of doing this. But I can see the merits of this approach as well. This looks bad for black. That c-pawn is extremely good. It's going to be hard to stop it. That also looks dangerous. Bishop f8, I think, is what should have been done last move. That extra move is sort of critical. I accidentally exited out of the chat. Did white have a double attack on the queen and bishop? Sorry, I messed up my chat. So the move that you're talking about is here with f5, but bishop takes e3 is check, so that doesn't quite work. But that was kind of, could have been in the cards. Socket has very little time. I think that's his only real weakness here. This move drops the c-pawn, Swag Time sees it. We might see some trolling at this point because Socket's very low on time. I know Swag Time likes to troll. He's going for the kill. Oh, I thought he would play rook c2, which I think is lights out. Alright, and it's a victory for Swag Time. Not for lack of trying from white though. Like, white got a very good position, but almost no time left. It's the hallmark of a perfectionist. Or someone who doesn't practice. They manifest similarly. Okay, so Kush is on 3 out of 3. Doing very well. Oh, bishop f6. Let's see that last game. Let's second. I'm fast forwarding to the part where they play bishop f6. Actually, bishop f6 didn't happen. I think you mean bishop h6, which I already addressed. After bishop h6 in this position, if you play f4, that's to attack the queen and the bishop, right? That's the only way. We'll take with check, then you take, and then take on f5. So that was not quite working. I think this is what you need. Anyway, I think the next game is beginning, so let's check it out. Kosh against Saket. And this, I think I've already discussed this with everyone. Like, we even had a match, Vedant versus Luis, in which we found that in this position, knight e5 just refused white's play. So d5's, well actually, well I shouldn't speak more. We'll come back to this position. Let's see what they think. But we've already discussed this a lot, that position, on our stream. Everybody should know the theory there after seeing our channel. Okay, so person is deliberating move 3. We're seeing a repeat of this opening. Basically a 3P. I think we've already seen this same opening 3 times. So anyone who's looking forward to joining our tournament, you might want to study up on that. The C5, E6 type thing. Alright, let's see what Swag Time's up to. I think bishop g4 is a bit ambitious in this line. But hey, a little ambition is good for your health. So normal Scandinavian play so far. Bishop may be oddly placed on g4, but it's whatever. Let's see what they do. Alright, so we lost one of our players because they have a life emergency, so wishing the best for them. Blade block if I got the username correct. Okay, so what do we think of knight e5? The very forcing move. Definitely some pieces are coming off the board. Well, maybe not. Maybe the pieces don't have to come off, but it seems likely to me. You know, we have this tension now. Oh, That's interesting. I thought bishop takes e2, queen takes e2. That's not e2, but you guys get it, and then castling. That's what I was thinking. Now the bishop on g4 is totally hanging. They had to at least play bishop e2 in that position. Maybe they were blinded by their ambition. H2 is not under attack because there's a queen on g4. How surprising. Yeah, Scandinavian is rarely a platform for an early attack. It's very hard to get something like that going. So people almost always just like choose to be passive and go to the end game. Which makes sense. Okay, so here, white never played d4, so we have like a kind of weird closed Sicilian where f4 is not even possible. So Vedant is just expanding on the queen side. I wonder if bishop b7 was the best move. I think there are some other options here, but nothing wrong with that, you know, just getting a long diagonal. And white's play is not unreasonable either. I think the knight on f3 is oddly placed. Might want more space, you know, usually you have to play d4 or something else to get some space. So let's see what's going on here. So Swag Time is up a piece. Enjoying life, from what I can see. Queen moved the long castle. So we're playing for counterplay is what comes to my mind. Black is saying, I don't care how much material I lose, I want to attack something and make up for my lost piece. It's a hard position to do so, but it's 10 minutes, anything can happen. Rook G8's already on the board there, attacking the queen. We'll see what Swagtime does. I just want to pop in over here. A4, a very dubious decision to me. I get where they're coming from. They want to take this pawn, right? You can take it twice, but B4 is very strong. And now there's no way to undermine it because A3 is not possible. You can never move the pawn backwards. So that's not happening. And now where do we put the knight? Maybe there's some good options, but I'm not that optimistic about it. Like, if you go on A2, the bishop and the knight are protecting B4 so well. It's like not an issue that it's under attack. Consequently, the knight's position here is not very relevant. I probably would have chosen knight to D1. B3's also an interesting choice, not necessarily in a good way. I think black has many options. C3's one of them. I don't think I would have chosen C3. I think probably I would have chosen a knight move. Because, we could be more aggressive than this. Yeah, knight C1 is highlighting why I think C3 is not that good. We can just put the knight on D3. Probably could have had a better version of this. Alright, let's see how everybody else is doing. By everybody else, I mean Swagtime and Anand. The position looks critical for black. This is a major threat. It's not clear how to mitigate it. So that's his task in this moment. How do we survive at least one more move without losing another piece? Or to create enough counterplay that it doesn't matter if we lose the piece. That's an option too. I don't envy Anand's position. He was just blind to this one moment. Blinded by his ambition. I thought here he should play bishop e2, queen e2, knight d5, maybe. But even this is better for white. Like, they can play knight e4 and drop a dog on d6. I think that would have been pretty strong. Desperate move there. I guess it's the only way to do something reasonably active, maybe? Alright, he resigned. It's too bad. Swagtime gained 99 points. If you're having night problems, I feel bad for you, son. Okay, so now we're checking Vedant and person. Things have come along quickly here, it looks like. So, chop, chop, chop. Oh, so here's a classic example of like not looking at what your opponent can do, right? You take something and you're like maybe excited, you're like, ooh, I can go over here, or over here, or over here, and oh, it's amazing. Like you want to take the rook, but you forget that it's their move. And you just take. Now your queen's hanging, you're blushing, everyone's staring at you in the tournament hall. You're looking at your face, looking at their face, and you have to accept that you're down a piece. Then you start trying to swindle. And then swindling's not working. It's sad because you lost another piece. We've all been there. Those grueling hours at the chessboard where you're just like getting wrecked. There's nothing to do. Knight e4 is good. I think knight g4 was better, just to keep some activity with the rook, but it probably doesn't matter at this stage. Well, imagine if the knight was on g4 here, it would be mate in 2. Like queen takes f2, and if the knight was here, we could take on h2. But, you know, that's a big what if. I think this position's still good for black, clearly. Stalemate is not an option because these pawns on h2 and g3 can always move, so it's kind of pesky. Vedanta is maybe showboating a little bit. It's okay to have a bad performance. That's like the only performance I have these days. But, you know, we always make a comeback, you know, get sharp again. Sometimes you just have a bad day too, turns out. White has nowhere to put this rook. That is not where I would put the rook. Everyone probably knows the saying by now, if it's free, it's for me. Yeah, rook takes e3. Could it be that it's just because it's Sunday morning, that's why we're all messing up? Maybe we all have things on our mind. Maybe it's because chess is hard. Maybe it's because life is hard. It's difficult. I see checkmate. I see person resign. Valiant effort though. It was just one slip up right here, where they allowed bishop takes e2. This was the critical moment for them. Bishop takes, not good. They should have just not been fancy, play bishop takes d3, and that would be a-okay. Alright, let's see about... Okay, we're going to the final round. Kush is surprised that he won against his brother. That's nice. Pleasant surprise, I hope. Not like a, oh no, what's he got to do to me at dinner tonight kind of thing. Yeah. If Vedant flicks some mashed potatoes on Kush, we know why. It's because he lost in the tournament. He's gonna throw the potatoes, and probably his parents will be like, why did you do that? And he'll say, well, he played queen e5. And then your parents will be like, understandable, have a nice day. Oh, it's over, because we can't play round 5, because everybody played each other. Surprise, it's over, and Kush won with 4 points. And it was a tie between Swag Time, who doesn't show up that much, and I really wish that he would come more, because it's always fun to see him trolling around. And Vedant also has 3. On tie breaks, Vedant's slightly bigger, that's why he has the silver cup. But you know what? All cups are made equal, if you ask me. We are all winners just for showing up. So the only people who really lost here were Bladeblock and Arham, who didn't show up. At least Bladeblock had an important excuse. Yeah, nice games, everyone. Very interesting. And I look forward to doing this again soon. I think that our next tournament should be maybe... Well, I'm trying to do it just like month by month. So next month is June. I don't know when I'm going to be at sea. There might be some point when I'm like at sea for 10 days or something. It might be in June. So just to keep it kosher, I think we should try for June 6th for the next one. So I will put out a new tournament, and anyone who is interested in joining can join by going to the fan page. And anybody who is watching the replay maybe and wants to join the Discord so they can study with us and play with us, you can just leave a comment and say, give me a Discord link, and I will do that. You'll get a Discord link. You'll click it, you'll join, and then we'll all be one big happy family. Okay, yeah. Great. Love it. Thank you all for showing up on a Sunday morning and doing your best. And please don't get hit by a Chinese rocket. Alright. Bye everyone. Thank you. See you next time.